If you've ever thought that more revenue is going to solve all of your problems in business, I'm here today. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. We're going to talk about why more revenue truly only makes the chaos you're feeling more heavy and what it's really causing behind the scenes when you're hoping for more revenue and you really should be focused on something else. So, hey, I'm Salen, a scale and system strategist for service based women business owners. And there are four core pillars that every single successful business utilizes in order to scale sustainably without the owner required in the daily operations. Those four pillars are what I call the 16-hour owner system, where I teach you how to integrate them into your business so you can remove yourself from the operations and become the strategic leader that you know you are meant to be in business. So, let's get started today. As you're coming on, give me a hey in the comments. Let me know you're here. I am going to share this inside of my Facebook group because sharing directly into Facebook has become a challenge. Is anyone else feeling that these days? So here we go. Okay, so that's done. So let's jump in here. So, more revenue does not fix your problems, right? This is like thinking, oh, if I just work a little bit harder, that will fix all my problems. Well, that would mean that every woman who's working 50, 60, 70, 80-hour weeks like I was back in 2010 would be have the most amazing chaos-free business and be rolling in the dough. And I can tell you firsthand that is not true. So here's the thing, what more revenue really does is it exposes the misalignment in your business, right? And I get why you think more revenue is going to fix things because when you were earlier on in business, like low six figures, right? You were like, oh, if I just get more revenue, then I can hire someone and then I can get this off my plate, right? Or if I can just get more revenue, then maybe I can, pay for leads instead of getting them organically, right? So it made sense back then. Revenue was definitely a huge driver and it was a benefit, but here's the thing, once you get around that $1 million mark in business, more revenue does not fix your problems. It actually compounds the chaos. And so, this is where it really, when you have that $1 million business or you're right around that time, that revenue level, this is where you might be feeling like your perfectionism or your control freakness is really shouting. And it's because you know behind the scenes that things aren't as pretty as they should be. It's kind of like that junk drawer in your house that you don't want any guests to see because it kind of shows how much of a disaster everything you've kind of dumped in there is. And so you have that drawer hidden. We all have one, but we never want to show it to anyone that's coming by. This is your business, right? You don't want people on the outside, right? They think you're successful, they see you successful in business. You don't want them to see that on the inside, things aren't as organized. And listen, I'm guilty of this at times, like right now. You know what I mean? I am getting ready to launch the Simply Rich business experience in May, and there is a lot of moving parts going on behind the scenes. I'm in a season right now, right? But this isn't going to last, right? Everything is going to end when you're at the $1 million revenue and the season you're in doesn't last because you don't have the back end infrastructure. That's where you have the problem, right? So, you don't have a revenue problem right now. You have a back end infrastructure problem, right? And it's this decision precision, what I like to call it, right? The game shifts from the growth game, right? This is where it was all focused about getting to a million, getting that revenue, making it happen, doing anything you can to get there, to shifting to the scale phase in business, two phases in business, growth and scale. But the problem is so many women think when the revenue's coming in that they're automatically in the scale phase. Well, I hate to break it to you, you're not, right? Let me know if you're in the growth phase below or the scale phase. Growth is where you focus all on bringing in revenue. Scale is when you focus on getting yourself out of the operations and the revenue's just coming in, regardless of whether you're in there 80% of your time or 10% of your time. Ooh, that's a shift, right? So, here's the thing that's so important at a million that I see. If you truly want your revenue to keep growing, but you also want your team to not be in your inbox all day long, or your clients to ask you the same question 10 times, or your vendors to be driving you crazy about another issue or a question or an upsell or whatever, you have to know the metrics in your business because those allow you to have that decision precision. Let me give you an example, right? So let's say you meet this amazing human who owns a Facebook advertising agency, right? And you're having a conversation and they're like, "Well, how do you get inquiries right now?" And you're like, "Well, mostly I get them from Facebook groups, or I get them from networking, or I'm getting them off of our Google listing," right? And they're like, "Well, I own a Facebook ads agency and we can take what you have and we can like 10x your growth by running ads." And you're like, "Ooh, that sounds amazing. Like I can 10x my growth." Here's the thing. If you don't know your metrics and where exactly your inquiries are coming from and why they're coming from those places, most likely you can throw tens of thousands of dollars at ads and they're not going to work. And it's because you have to know, like, okay, people that you're networking with are sending you leads because they know, like, and trust you, right? People are finding you in Facebook groups and your friends are recommending you. So there's that validation again, right? You're getting leads because of your Google listing because you're the only one in the area and people are Googling this, right? So Facebook ads might not be the best option for you, but you're not going to know that unless you know your metrics. I see so many women in service-based businesses just throwing money, spaghetti at the wall, being like, "Let me try this, let me try this, let me try this." That was great. That probably got you to a million, but now you have data and lots of it. And the business owners that truly put more money in their pocket without working harder are the ones who dig into that data. Inside of the Simply Rich business experience, one of the first things we do is we use my method called the Metrics Make You Money method. This method helps you figure out what to analyze in your metrics, what to assess and see what's going on, and then what to take action on, right? Because once you know those kinds of things, you have that decision precision. You know, when someone asks you something, a vendor's like, "Hey, do you want to upgrade to this?" You know, based upon the Metrics Make You Money method and what you got answers from it, whether it's a good decision or not. So you're eliminating that brain fatigue, that decision fatigue. You're putting more money in your pocket. You're making less guessing decisions in your business. And you're really focused on what has worked. And let's do more of that. Make sense? Okay. So let's move into the third thing, which is That growth without structure creates dependency. Now, you might be like, what the heck does that even mean, Salem? Because you've maybe never heard the term dependency, right? You're like, okay, I have some dependents. It's tax season, right? Like, I have dependents that I'm writing off, kind of deal. But what owner dependency means is even though you have clients, you have revenue, you have a team, everything in your business still runs through you. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with a woman. She has a service based business, and she literally got a text from her operations manager that said, "We're out of paper." And I was like, okay. And I was like, okay, so here's what, when we work together, right, is going to happen. Instead of you being like, let me place the order from Staples, or it's underneath the shelf. Did you look there? Or, go buy it at the store and you're like frustrated because you're even responding to this text. We zoom out with this wide angle lens and we look to kind of say, why doesn't my operations manager know that we don't have paper and brings me a solution and I should have never even gotten this text in the first place, right? So it could be a multitude of different things. It could be that you're still responsible for buying the office supplies and you don't have a system in place in order for reorder, right? It could be that they don't have a credit card to go get, right? Like a business credit card to go get more paper. It could be that they just don't know. Like, we're out of paper. You're usually here when this happens. Like, so what do you want me to do? Kind of deal, right? There's so many reasons that this could happen. And inside of the Simply Rich business experience, I have this system called the one and done delegation method. And what this does is it really, when you delegate a task to someone on your team, that team member then owns that task, not temporarily, right? One and done means once and done, forever. So that means you put a system in place on how paper shows up at your office, and you teach that person in your office what the system is. They understand it. And so you delegate it to them and it never happens again. The one and done delegation method, right? This is how you remove things from your to do list, your inbox, your notifications forever, because you have the pillars in place. Remember when I started talking, we were talking about the 4 pillars that every single successful business needs if you want to sustainably scale. These are structural pillars that are a non-negotiable in business. If you're at $1 million and you don't have these 4 pillars, that's why you're feeling like no amount of revenue is fixing your problems. Your inbox is overflowing. Your team has asked you the same question 10 times this month, and clients are complaining about the same issue again, right? So you have to have those 4 pillars. And so here's the thing that is so important, right? You can either keep going at the level that you're at, so you can keep getting the text messages, the emails, the questions that make you want to poke a fork in your eye because you're like, seriously, why are you asking me this right now? Or you can choose to draw a line in the sand and do something different. Let me explain to you what that looks like. So back in 2010, I hit $1 million. And instead of celebrating, I was sitting in my car sobbing at 9 a.m. because I had just covered another 3-hour shift for a caregiver who no showed, right? And so that was my moment to draw a line in the sand. And what that meant was that no matter what, how hard it got to fix the problem, I was not going back this time. See, for the prior 3 years, I would try and fix something, right? So I would try and retrain my team. I would try and set up new systems. I would try and delegate more. And, something would happen. We would get busy and I would just eke back into telling them what to do, fixing the problems, et cetera, right? But that moment in 2010, I drew a line in the sand and I said, no matter what, I'm fixing this problem forever. I spent 2 years redesigning my $1 million business. And 2 years later, I was able to jump in my RV for 30 days and take off down here to sunny South Florida, where I now live, and not have the phone attached to me, right? I wasn't like on the phone 24/7. I wasn't on my laptop 24/7, and the business didn't fall apart while I was gone, right? And it was all because what I did over those 2 years that I didn't realize back then, but when I came back and broke it down, is there's 4 pillars. These are the 4 pillars that most women skip when you're building your service-based business. And it's not because you don't know them or you don't have the skill or the education or whatever. It's not because you did anything wrong. It's just because you started building, right? Excitement. You got in there, you got it done. We're get her done kind of people. We're multitaskers, we're problem solvers, right? Like we get it done. So you skipped over them. But this is where things change today. And inside of the Simply Rich Business Experience, a 12-month structural integration program, this is where we fix whatever is annoying you in your business forever. So it doesn't come back. We get you the clarity on those metrics, right? So we use the metrics make you money method, right? That's one of the frameworks we use in pillar one. We implement systems, and I have a systems formula that allows you to implement systems and they actually get used, right? And it doesn't take you all these hours to implement them. And then we get your support team that you currently have either retrained or get you new team members if that's what we need to do. And then we bring everything together in pillar four and we streamline it. So that's what we do. If you're saying to yourself right now, that's what I need to learn more, then I want you to comment scale and let's get on a call. I have 12 seats for the May Founding Client Collective. We start May 11th. It's 12 women, service-based, and we are going to get you out of the daily operations within 6 months and help you transition into the strategic leader that you know you were meant to be in business, put more money in your paycheck, get the notifications on your phone slowing down a lot, get your team following systems and having job ownership and preparing your business for whatever's next, the next revenue level, to hand off to someone else, potentially a sale, whatever it is for you, right? This is what we do. If you're like, that's amazing, I love that, tell me more about those 4 pillars, then I encourage you to comment guide. I have a fabulous free guide for you. It's called the $1 Million Business Owner's Blind Spot. This is going to allow you to look at those 4 pillars that I've been talking about: structure, systems, support, and streamline. And you're going to be able to do a quick little diagnosis of which pillar your business probably needs the most help with, right? And you'll get to understand them more. So if you want that free guide, comment guide, and I will send it right over to you. But in the meantime, if you're like, just give me the blueprint and give me the system and give me the support right now, then you can scan the QR code on the screen or comment scale. We'll get on a call and see if your business is a good fit for one of the 12 Founding Client Collective spots that are starting May 11th. I hope you found this beneficial. Please know that more revenue is not going to fix the problem at your level. More revenue is only going to compound the chaos. And that's why I hope this live today is your draw a line in the moment, draw a line in the sand moment. It's your moment where you say to yourself, you know what? Salen's onto something and I need to listen up and I need to fix this once and for all and not keep getting dragged back into the problems that I try and fix over and over and over. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. I will see you next week.